It's hard in the gay community to appreciate big guys, though there are people who do. And I've been working on that. I really have, so that I can accept my own theory as true. Because, of course, to have an idea about something, about how the way the world works, and then like realize you don't really feel or fit into that, you have that disjointedness on what you think and what you do, and that always leads to trouble until you resolve it. So I'm doing something to resolve that, and I have grown to actually accept bigger types than I used to. I got over the smooth thing, which once again I consider immature, and anybody who likes smooth, muscular guys can just be like, you know, it's not immature, it's the matter of preference. Gay people fall back on that shit all the time. Like, just because you have a preference that it's some sort of hardwired, hot-wired, this is what you are and it never changes and we can all accept it and be happy. Well, that's not true. There's some very unhappy people out there made to feel like they are miserable swamp creatures because they don't fall into that shit. So let's not all just accept it and be happy. Let's try, okay? And accept the beauty that everyone has represented in some ways. What I like about this damn webcam, I used to think I was one of the most ugly people ever, and this was not a natural thought. By natural, I mean I wasn't born thinking I was ugly. It took me years, since I was 18, came out, became my adult gay man, and tried so hard to attract guys, and just rejection after rejection. I tell you, no one could believe the numbers. After a long while, years in the making, I came to the conclusion I'm just not good looking. And then I just accepted I'm ugly. And it's a painful thing, because when I first came to that conclusion, it was just really, didn't feel right, and it was just crazy. But it was just like the evidence is stacked against me. So many people are like, well, you're nice, love to be my friend, but not into me that way. That way, I don't see you that way. I like you as a friend, or I'm not into you, or this type of person, or some shit. Only until this webcam came around, kind of very recently, and I started looking at myself and laughing and loving it, did I really came to the conclusion that I'm really not that bad. And I don't need other people to tell me that, because I can see it for myself. It's really not that bad. And it's likable and lovable, which when you feel ugly and you're rejected a lot, you begin to, at least I did, so I'm generalizing for the rest of the world, begin to think that means you're just not worth being loved because people don't find you attractive. Because I used to find that my personality, I think very highly of. I'm very arrogant in that department. I think I'm a great person. And I'm one of the best people you'll ever get. And anybody who can grow to appreciate and like me will be happy forever. But it's balanced by my acceptance that physically I'm just far from what the beauty of my personality is. And as I've grown to accept back then, which back then is like a month or two ago, that I was just freaking ugly and nobody likes this, it translated into I'm unlovable, which is a hard thought. It's hard to feel like people can't love you, even though of course my family loves me and my friends love me in their own way, but that kind of love that a part of society has drilled into us that we are hopelessly lost and incomplete without, which is a whole nother fucking blog. I mean, this is all spawning from society's drilling into us, and by society I mean mainly advertisers, what is pretty, let alone people and stories and advertisers and everything that wants to make a buck drilling into our brains and just packing it in there with every possible symbol and message that we are nothing without a person in our lives to share it with. That's really the ultimate happiness in this world, is being in a fulfilling relationship. And so many people do everything to achieve that and fail and are miserable. Another thing that we can try and work beyond, but my dark chocolate theory, because I'm kind of drifting, make some efforts, people, to try and appreciate dark chocolate. And by that, I'm using it metaphorically and literally. Dark chocolate is actually very good for you. And darker skinned people are just as wonderful as anybody else of any skin tone. There's just as many of us out there that one can fall for and love, no matter what your skin color is. And so are big guys. And I had to learn that lesson. I really can't throw it in people's face. Big is hard to accept. I've been on this bear401.com, which I'm looking at right now. And I'm growing to like bigger more, and I'm so proud of myself for it, because it was the last obstacle for me. I overcame ethnicity real young, and smooth looked pretty when I was a little kid and immature, but then when I felt hair, I was like, boy, that feels fabulous. Tactile stimulation. I can handle a smooth guy, but so to speak. But I definitely can appreciate a furry person, and at first I was very visually unappealing to me, but now I have a new association with it mentally. Same thing with food. We relate to certain foods a certain way if it has a lot of and this actually comes from a book from a guy that I read or heard about on NPR, who used to work for the Food and Drug Administration, who looked into why food is so damn addictive to people, and they keep overeating in America without stopping when they realize they're full. It's because everything we have is inundating our senses with this sugar and fat and what's the third one? Salt. Sugar, fat, and salt, and that combination combined with all these images of society of people being happy when they're eating just creates a side effect in our brain when we eat something that's saturated with that shit, which is everything you would buy out in stores and restaurants when you don't cook for yourself. It's inundated with these things combined with the images that we're bombarded with, that eating this kind of stuff is happy, and people do it when they're with other people, and it's a great thing, and our brain has actually developed a chemical reaction where we feel like any other drug happy from it. I've kind of gone on this tangent for a purpose, but food, anything that we kind of feel like this is it, we really like, we can broaden that. What we have programmed ourselves to like is there. It doesn't go away. I used to try to not like white people because I was so bitter about how popular white folks are and how everybody wants a white man. I mean, shit. A white person ain't got to want for shit. But it didn't work. I really never got over my attraction to white people. I had to accept that. But I did grow to accept everyone else too. So, that Madison Avenue, Abercrombie, fucking buff dude image is hot. Everybody knows it, and no matter how much you try and fight it, it's just foolish. It's really attractive, but you can grow to like other things. And you know what? I really think better quality lies in those people who have faced a certain level of reality and adversity that potentially can create some really high quality characters. And I'm trying hard not to say that prettier people are either more shallow, which they tend to be, and I'll be willing to go out on that limb, or less mature, which they tend to be, and I'll go out on that limb. But they tend to be like less compromising because so many people are after them. They never really had to sacrifice much to try and find what they're looking for, I guess, which that is a generalization I won't go out on a limb on completely. But good looking people have it hard too, but you'll find some not really Madison Avenue attractive bodied boys out there with maybe some bad skin or some shit, which that doesn't bother me either. They have really great personalities and good character, and if you can really grow to accept the outside package, which is important for men, probably women on many levels too, but for men it's really important that you like what you see. If you can grow to like that, you can find some really quality people, and it wouldn't be such a hard challenge to find that happy relationship that we all feel doomed to a miserable life if we don't get, which is, like I said, another blog. I don't know if I made much sense out of everything, but that's actually a real issue. It's something that's always worked on me and been against me, and I've been fighting and swimming upstream against for since my adult day life, really. And I've made progress in it, so I know it's true. So my dark chocolate theory, if I become a fucking PhD on this topic, this might be one of the many things, because I have so many brilliant things to think or to write about, and theories and works. But people can broaden their appreciation of things. They can expand it. I would take it pretty far into some controversial statements, but I'm not going to go that far yet. But I really think people can grow to, I like my necklace, don't you? Accept and appreciate things. Just consider it broccoli or dark chocolate. Somebody that's a little bigger or a little darker than what you think you like. Get yourself a gateway who kind of seems like the kind of thing you like, but a little different, and you may grow to like that different thing you thought you hated a little more. And trust me, it can only make you happier because it expands your selection, increasing the numbers of people that you can actually come by, which our numbers aren't very great anyways. So limiting ourselves is just not helping in any event. So that's just one thing I want to talk about. And I think that's about it. And I don't even know if I'm going to... Of course I'll watch this and react, but it's not going to be a hilarious thing, so, well, whatever. I may not post a reaction to it if it's boring, but oh well. And thanks for, like, my 3 fans. I know I called all y'all up and said, look at my shit. But, yeah. Thanks. Now that you guys want to see stuff, I'm making it. So, there you go. And respond, really. Alright, bye.